Well, hey there, everybody. This is our second section of notes for histology, and we're going to start with our essential question. Make sure you have your notebook out and you are recording this information in the input side of your notebook, the right-hand side. Let's get busy. The essential question for today is, what type of epithelium is arranged in a single flat layer? And here's an image of this type of epithelium as well. As we get through these notes, you will be able to answer this question. So pay attention and let's get busy. As I said, this is part 2 of our histology notes, and we're focusing here on epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissues have many functions. Mostly they are for protection, filtration, secretion, absorption, and excretion of wastes. The divisions of epithelium include the covering and lining group as well as glandular epithelium. And there's our different types we're going to get to. All right, epithelial cells can be layered. If they are a single layer, it's considered to be a simple epithelium, in which it would function for osmosis, diffusion, absorption, and secretion. So those would be the simple ones that are in single layers. Stratified epithelium exists in 2 or more layers of cells that are stacked upon each other. So their responsibility would be to protect underlying tissue in case of wear and tear. And then your pseudostratified is it's pseudo, which means it's false. So it looks like it is more than one layer, but it's really just one layer. And pseudostratified, it says here, is one layer of mixed cells, and these cells are responsible for mucus secretion and movement. And here you can see an image, an illustration of what somebody has done for pseudostratified. See how it looks like it could be multiple layers, but it's really just the cells are elongated and they just look stretched out. All right, that's pseudostratified. All right, now for the cell shapes. There are 4 shapes that we're going to talk about right here. A squamous shape is a flattened cell. Okay, so these would be like what you have on the inside of your mouth, your cheek cells. They're kind of scale-like, and they do slough off relatively easy. Okay, so that's a squamous cell. It's really flat. Cuboidal cells are cube-shaped. Now it's not going to be a perfect cube, but they do have this shape that looks cubical. Okay, that's why they're named cuboidal. And they are thick cells. They're pretty thick, and they have this distinct cube shape. Columnar, they are tall cells that have a column-like shape or a cylindrical shape. And transitional cells, they do vary. They have varying shapes. Hence the word transition. All right, now starting into simple epithelium. Simple epithelium here, these are all single layers of epithelium, all right? Your simple squamous cells. Simple squamous cells have the function of filtration, diffusion, osmosis, and secretion in your serous membranes. Remember all of the serous membranes that we discussed in the body cavities as well as on the internal organs. All right. Some locations include, but not all, include kidneys, your glomeruli in your kidneys, in which water, glucose, and wastes are filtered out, and they go back and forth in order to remove them from the body. In your lungs, we have gas exchange. We need that to be a very thin, flat layer of cells, so gas exchange can occur quickly. And we have heart and blood vessels in which nutrients and medicine can be moving in and out of the tissue as much as possible. All right. Your next type of epithelium is the simple cuboidal epithelium. The function here is for secretion and absorption, and the location of this would be in the kidney tubules for waste products, and also on the surface of ovaries for the ova, or the eggs that are being housed in the ovaries. All right, you can see here in the pictures, the simple squamous cells are it's a flat single layer of cells, and the dark purpley thingies here in these slides, that's the nucleus. All right, and this is an entire cell right here. It's flattened out. And then you can see the basement membrane and these other cells below. Oh, excuse me. Now, next, we have a simple cuboidal here, like I just mentioned. I want you to take a look at these slides here. Notice how the cells are thicker compared to these flattened ones here. They are thicker and they have more of a cube-like shape. All right, but it's still a single layer. Okay, next up here we have the ciliated simple columnar. Ciliated refers to that there are these little teeny tiny hairs on the ends of the cells to help for movement of stuff, and they are very elongated columnar shapes. All right, so the function of these cells is to move fluids and particles along passageways, and the location of these cells is in the respiratory tract, such as movement of mucus and stuff like that to keep things going and protect our respiratory tract from any foreign particles. The location of these cells would include the respiratory tract, your fallopian tubes, ladies, for the movement of eggs or ova, and sinuses. And they're very, very useful in our sinuses for the removal of pathogens. And that's why we get a runny nose sometimes, like when we're having allergy issues or we get a cold, we get a runny nose because we're producing more water and stuff like that to move the stuff off of our mucous membranes so that no longer are we infected. All right. Now the next type of simple epithelium is the non-ciliated columnar epithelium. Notice how the cells, they are columnar shaped. They're the tall cylindrical shape, and there's no cilia up here. There is none of these little tiny hairs up there, but it's not there. All right. So the function of this would be secretion and absorption. All right. And structures that have these would be your microvilli in your gastrointestinal tract for the absorption of nutrients and water, and also in your gallbladder, the secretion of bile. All right, well, oops, I don't know what just happened there. But that concludes our notes for today, and please forgive my dog. She really wants to go outside. Go back and answer that essential question about the flattened cells, okay? I hope you learned something today. Next time we will talk more about epithelial tissue. We'll look at the stratified epithelium, and then we'll move into connective tissue. Have a great day.